Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of What the Effie.
I like your name so much.
Thank you.
Your
Thank you
name
so
and the
much.
episode name as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Today, guys, we are really lucky because we have Gabriel Harris with us. And I really like this guy. I was just telling him how much I'm looking forward to getting to know him even more. And I think you're going to probably feel the same way. So, Gabriel, thank you very much. Thank you.
Appreciate. I share your feelings. I'm very lucky, as I told you previously, that we connected. I'm happy that we are doing this podcast right now. I'm really
Thank you.
happy. I didn't expect I will get on the What the Effie podcast. That's a nice surprise.
Well, it is truly my pleasure. So thank you. Thank you. Now, I'm going to start where I often start with my guests. And that is, I'd like to know a little bit about your early years.
When I was 19 and 20 years old, I was in Romania as a student. And
Oh,
then at
so
21, I
you
moved to
finished high
US.
school and then went to Romania?
Yes, for university.
Okay. Oh, what did you study?
Business and administration.
Nice. Good
So,
combination.
yes, it turned out to be quite helpful.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be quite easy for me. I really enjoyed that. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to graduate because I was second year out of 3 when I moved to US. And I never got a chance to go back to finish. But
Well, why did
life helped me to graduate everything I needed and even more,
yeah, the
get my
university.
master's and everything here in the US.
Oh,
I mean, not on
oh, the
papers,
School of Hard
like
Knocks. We
the
call it,
street, the business life.
yeah, the School of Hard Knocks. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
got that. So, you said you didn't have the chance, but what happened when you were 19? Did you decide, why did you not have a chance?
I was
Tell us.
21. I was 21 when I moved to US.
Okay.
And because of the long legal processing with the green
Mhm.
card and stuff, I
Yeah,
didn't get a chance to go back and finish what I started 2 years ago, unfortunately.
yeah, I got you.
This was not even close to be my plan. Like when I came to US initially, my family told me, "Hey, you're not going to come back. We know you, like you are one of those people who only go forward. You don't come back." Like starting from the school, I wanted to go abroad as soon as possible. I didn't want to stay in Moldova.
Why not?
Um, Good question. One of the reasons is because it's a poor country
Okay.
and you always have to have relatives in order for you to get a good position somewhere.
Yeah, it's very political.
It's very political, corrupted, and very poor. So for me, I'm like, well, I want to go somewhere where I can build a legacy and I can show who I am.
I get
Like
it.
all during like 7 years old up until 18 years old, 7 to 18, all the time I was in school in my hometown. I was kind of like I was able to leverage my mom's background. She was like top teacher in not just in our town but the whole like county and stuff.
Wow.
And now she's actually one of the top in the country.
Oh,
She
that's
is
so
being
cool.
called to go to the capital actually and um, have lessons like with other teachers across the country, teach them how to teach kids pretty much. So I
Nice.
was leveraging my mom's background to get good grades or mess up at the school or do whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
And in regards to other teachers, because you asked me what other teachers would tell me, would say about me probably. Well, they would tell you I was a knucklehead, especially my English teacher. My English teacher was always like if there was something that I couldn't keep up with, that was my English. Like
What do you
I
mean
was
you
good with
couldn't keep up with? You
like I
just
didn't
didn't
want to
do the
learn. Like
you
I
didn't
didn't
do
want to
the
learn. Like I didn't want to study English. I'm like, what what do you want from me? Like, it's like I will go over to UK or US. Like, where is Moldova and where is UK and where is US? Like, I will never get there. Like, what are you talking about? Like, why do you want me to study English? It's just a waste of time for me. Like, I better go
Yeah,
play football.
I
This was
understand.
in my mind.
Yeah.
And the teacher was like, okay, well, just um, come to my classes and just be present and try to keep up a little bit just so we can pass you for the next year. So this is what I was doing pretty much. I wasn't putting any effort.
Yeah.
But the first year when I moved to US, I'm like, oh no, that's not gonna work out. So obviously when you move to a new country, you get closer to someone that speaks your language. So this is one of the
Yes.
biggest
Yes.
mistakes actually,
I know.
being
I know.
surrounded by your people.
Yep. And you talk
So
your language.
at one point, like after probably like a year ish, I realized that I'm downgrading and not upgrading, and I cut off almost all the phone calls and chit chats and nightclubs with friends and stuff like that. And I was listening radio.
Mm,
I was
nice.
driving a lot and I was listening radio, trying to pick up like the words.
Yep. Good. Good. You know, it's interesting that you weren't keen on learning English as a younger person.
Teenager, yeah.
Yeah. Well, because, teenagers are teenagers, but if they had any clue of what we know now, which is at least for the next 50 years, maybe longer, and certainly for the last 50 years, English is the language of the world. That's how Britain managed to colonize. Sure, they took some countries and they made them slaves, but if they couldn't do that, they made sure they learned the language. And now, you know, you name it, Trinidad, Jamaica, all these countries that they had been in are all English speaking. That's what they teach in their schools. So if they couldn't hold the person down physically, they definitely held them down as far as the language is concerned. And
Yes, I
once
was
they got
often
America
thinking
and they got
about.
Canada, now we're talking large bodies of land. So yeah, it is interesting.
I was often thinking about UK, like how big they used to be. Like they used to have more than half of the world, and how tiny is it right now? But they left a legacy behind, and now like half of the globe speaks their language.
Yeah,
How crazy is that?
I know it's interesting, isn't it? So I'm glad that you recognize speaking your own language wasn't really helpful to your learning and assimilating into America. Once you started listening to the radio, and why were you listening to the radio? What were you doing? How did you make your money? And why didn't you go back?
So the reason I wasn't able to go back was because the legal status, right? The green card takes quite a painful process. And then what I was doing is when I moved to US, I was told that hey, like become a truck driver, you'll make $1,000 or more per week. And I was thinking like, dude, you're talking like you're telling me that I can make in 1 month more than my family's making like combined for half a year. Like that's insane. Show me the pay stubs. So I got my proof. I'm like, okay, sign me up. No more questions. I was easy to get into.
Mhm.
As I said, like I like driving. I was into cars. I like driving. And for me, getting like a CDL, commercial driver license, was quite easy. I got it like in 3 weeks.
Nice.
Super easy. So I was driving. I drove like 10 to 15,000 miles a month. All I was doing was
Wow.
driving. Uh,
Where were you living, and was it local driving or was it long distance?
it was interstate. So I was driving like 48 states.
Wow. Where were you headquartered? Where were you living? Where,
Washington State, Seattle area. This was the
oh,
headquarters,
okay.
SeaTac, Seattle Tacoma.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I
That's
used to
funny.
live
We
in
weren't far
Bellevue,
apart.
Bellevue and Kent, Washington for over 5 years.
Nice.
Yes, great area, quite expensive. So this was one of the reasons we decided to move down to Vegas. It was time to buy a house, and wish I had friends to tell me, "Hey, knucklehead, don't invest in cars and don't invest, I mean, waste money on cars. Don't waste money on clothes. Don't waste money on building your trucking business. If this is not something you're dreaming of, go buy some properties. I always tell everybody if they like it's always who, right? It's not how, it's always who. So I missed my who for a long time. I missed my who for a very long time. If there was a who, like a person, when I moved to US and tell me, hey, you're gonna make over $4,000 a month with an FHA loan, you can get a property after 1 year. As soon as in 1 year you just get your taxes done, you can
Yep.
get an FHA loan. No one told me, no one was there. So it took 5-ish years for us to realize that, hey, like, why we are still paying rent?
Yeah.
So
It's not that they were hiding anything from you. It's that probably most of the people that you were hanging with were in a similar boat. They never knew and they
you
didn't
are
think
the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with, right? So my
exactly.
people were truck drivers.
Hmm.
And everybody was just partying, buying Mercedes, BMWs,
Yep.
nice cars, showing off, taking out ladies at the bar and stuff like that. So it's who you surround yourself as well. And my who wasn't partying with me.
Yeah. 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 And at least with the Greek community in Vancouver, so we were not far apart. You're in the Seattle area, and I was in Vancouver on the other side of the border.
Yep.
But in the Greek community, they felt they had to save and save and save and save until they had it all literally in cash. And there's an expression in English that's called mattress money because people keep the money under the mattress. They feel like you're going to have to
Yes.
kill me to get my money.
This sounds familiar.
Yeah. And that's what they do. That's what we did. You know, as we saved cash and cash and cash and cash for many years, and then you could buy one house.
Yes. It took me quite some time up until I realized that you need to leverage. Like everybody was telling me, hey, cash is king. And now I say the other way. I'm like, cash has its own power. Cash is powerful. I get it. I'm not saying that cash is trash. Cash is power.
Yep.
But credit is king. If you have the power to leverage,
Hmm.
this is where you can build an empire. You have to
Yep.
leverage. You have to leverage skills,
Hmm.
OPS, other people's skills, and OPM, other people's money.
Yeah.
It might be banks, it might be institutional funds, it might be private,
Hmm.
family, but
Yeah.
you have to leverage.
I agree. And it's not the way we were raised, right? My money's my money. Don't ask me for my money. You know, it's true. I mean, you know, that was a rough one. Although once in a while the community would get together and I remember when we bought our second house, my mom sent me to the houses of a number of Greek people, about five or six. And they literally gave me bags, like a bag of money. And I would take it home. And I was like,
Wow.
what the hell? Why'd you send me? And they're like, because if I go, they might try to take the money from me. But from you, they wouldn't think I'd be stupid enough to give you the money. So you're safe. And I was like, that doesn't make me feel good. But they did that, you know, and so we collected enough to be able to, along with our money, to be able to do it. But it was rare. And the church was involved, you know, like the priest would go and talk to the families and say, you have to lend to this, you know, these people who you do know, they're from the same village as you. I will make sure they pay you, blah, 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 you know.
He
So
was
it
the
was,
cosigner, the priest.
that's right. That's right. So there was some of that, but people didn't, you know, didn't believe in leveraging their reputation and their skills and their money. That came much later in life when you saw, well, wait a minute, how about all these millionaires and billionaires? How are they doing it? And then you're like, well, they didn't save all that money. They're doing
Yeah.
it a different way. So being open minded and exploring that is very helpful.
Yeah.
So,
And it takes time to learn these
oh,
skills.
it
Like when I
does.
moved
It
to
does.
US, I didn't even know the word credit. I'm like, credit? What do you mean? What's credit? What do you eat if like credit? And I got my first capital one of $300 on it. I'm like, oh, nice, let's go spend it. And then a month later, I got the bill. I'm like, and now what? When is time to reset the clock? Like when I get my $300 again,
Yeah.
well, you have to
Yep.
pay it and then you get it again.
That's right. And in the meantime, you pay interest and you're like, what the hell? It's like the very first time you ever work. Well, at least in Canada, the first time I worked and I got paid and they held back taxes. I
Mm.
went running up to my boss. I was like, wait,
Give
they've
me all my
cheated me.
money.
Yes. And they're like, welcome to the real world. You're now a taxpayer. And I'm like, I don't want to pay taxes. And they're like, it's not your choice. You're living
That's
in
the difference
Canada.
between being employed and being an employer, right?
Mhm.
You, like, in one position you get taxed before you get your money, and the other position you pay whatever is left from your profits.
Yes, that's true.
So,
That's true. So you were in the north west, and you were still driving at that time,
oh
and
yes, I drove for years. Even
and
though I had my trucks and my drivers, I still drove because I wanted to make money so I could get into real estate later on.
so you knew you wanted to get into real estate
This
then.
was in 2019 after
Okay.
listening to Rich Dad Poor Dad book by Robert
Oh yeah,
Kiyosaki.
yeah.
This was the first time it clicked in my head. I didn't know how and who I'll reach out to, but I knew there's a way that people leverage credit and they have tenants that are paying their mortgage down and then they are left with the asset. And the more doors you have, the less risk you have as well. So after listening to this book, I was driving, I was listening to it for the whole day. I shut down my phone, I turned on my tablet. I'm like, I don't care who calls me. Like, it might be God himself, but I guess he's gonna show up if he wants me. But I'm gonna listen to this book today. So after listening, I talked to my girlfriend and I'm like, hey, like, we are doing something wrong. Me putting in the labor every single day, it's not how you become millionaire or wealthy, right? The goal is not
Yep.
to become a millionaire or billionaire. The goal
Yep.
is to become wealthy, financial freedom, right?
Mm-hmm.
So while talking on the phone, Instagram listens to us, and the minute we're done with the call, she's getting ads on Instagram. Rich Dad is coming to Bellevue, Washington. Sign up. Free event in your town.
Wow.
So she signed up. Then they sold another 3 days event for $150. She signed up again, and I showed up again as well with her. And we got sold for a $42,500 course.
Oh my God, you got caught in that, right?
Yep, yep,
Oh my
yep.
God.
I got
I
excited.
don't think a lot of people really know about that. They know about Rich Dad Poor Dad, the book. I mean, I read the book when I was in high school, and they know about Robert and his success, but they don't often know about what happened there. So, could you briefly tell us? Okay, you went to the free one, then you went 150 for a couple of days, and you signed up into a mentorship for how much?
42,500.
42,500, which was probably about almost a year's salary.
Um,
It was a
well,
lot of money.
it was a lot of money. Yes.
And what happened? Because this is not talked about that much, and I think people should know it because
Well, what
yes, the
happened
book was
next?
great, but
Yes. Yes. What happened next is there was crickets. The minute they left the town, I didn't hear anything back for a couple of days. I'm like, oh, oh, damn. Like, let's open Google, see what people say about this company first. Like, what I should have done first, right? But you don't know what you don't know. So I opened Google, I tap in, and I believe there were a couple of posts like Reddit or something. And everybody was telling like, this is a scam. Like, I can get my money back, and I paid, and at X, Y, and Z. I'm like, oh crap,
mm,
what have I done? I just received like 2 credit cards with zero APR, and I swiped them to pay for the course. I'm like, dang, now I'm left with the credit cards. Let me get back to the contracts. And I was able to find some phone numbers. I called them, and I'm like, hey, I just signed up, but it's been crickets. What's going on? Like, when do I learn about real estate now? Or was this my lesson? Don't give money away. Like, like what lesson should I
Oh
take
my
from this
God, that's
course?
hysterical. You just got your lesson.
Like, I just got my lesson, or how does it work?
Oh my God.
There was actually a reel on Instagram I saw the other day. Two guys were talking to each other, and one is like, "Hey, I just ordered a book from X website, How to Scam People. I never received the book yet." So I was pretty much like in same shoes. I'm like, "Hey, just pay $42,000 to learn how to make money, and where's my money now? Like, what's next?" You
Oh
know?
my God. I'm
So
glad that you have a sense of humor about it, but it's not funny actually at all.
it wasn't funny back then.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
what did
they
they
called me
say to you?
down.
What
Yes,
did
they
they
called me
say to
down,
you?
and they're like, "Hey, our next conference is in Las Vegas. It's a 3-day conference, and because you're a newbie, you barely can spell real estate. We're gonna sign you up for the momentum classes. You're gonna learn like the foundation of the real estate and investing." I'm like, "Fine, sign me up. What's the date?" So I got the emails and everything. I'm like, "Okay, fine." And we did a whole road trip. We stopped at Lake Tahoe. We did like the Grand Canyon, all the way around Grand Canyon. I'm like, well, since we're going to Vegas, let's make it fun.
Not only that, but that is country that everyone should see.
Yes. Well,
If you're going to become an American or if you're going
I
to even
saw
just
probably
visit.
99% of it. Alaska is the only state I haven't visited yet so far.
Oh, interesting.
Alaska is the only one.
Okay.
So we made it to Vegas. It was quite impressive. We had about 1,000 or maybe 1,000 people showing up at the conference. And it wasn't our typical conference that we go at Squad Up Summit or All In event or Clever Summit. It wasn't anything close to it. I mean, those events went close to what I went back
Oh,
then. It was really good. So they had like half a day presentations, stage, people speaking and stuff like that. And then the other half a day was like they were splitting us per classes: momentum, fix and flips, crypto, PML, hard money, trading, options,
wow.
wholesaling, Burr method, like any strategies you might think about in real estate or close to real estate.
Yeah, I
They
was
were
going to say
teaching
some of
those.
that was not real estate.
Yes, yes, some of them, but like everything you can think about real estate, they had these classes in person. Based on your experience, you could take a class, and
Nice.
based on your package as well. So we got the momentum. They even booked like 3 buses here in Vegas for
Mhm.
us to go to bring us to fix and flips properties and
Okay.
show us the process.
Nice.
It was quite impressive. That's why I say like I haven't attended yet any other events close to that one since then. It was quite impressive. The second event was about a month and a half, 2 months later in Orlando. We showed
Oh my
up
God.
again. It
All the
was
way across the country.
yes, we didn't drive. Okay, we took the plane. Um, and it was a fix and flip class. I wanted to do fix and flips. I'm like, how can I quickly get my money back? One is wholesaling, but I told them, hey, my English is broken. I barely can speak English, not even real estate. So they're like, okay, can you handle a hammer? Can you handle some contractors? Like, yeah, I probably could. They're like, okay, you have to get into fix and flips. I'm like, fine, as you say. So we took the fix and flip class. It was quite impressive as well. A lot of material. Another 3 days of people speaking on stages, breaking down deals, showing us X, like A to Z,
Nice.
everything. It was quite impressive.
Good.
And this was December, I believe, 2019. So
Okay.
2020, COVID hit and the company shut down. They filed bankruptcy and my course went down the toilet.
Well, at least you got those 3 sessions,
I
which
got the
is good.
momentum.
Yeah.
I still got the momentum and I was pissed off, but this was my motivation. I'm like, I'm not stopping here now. Now that I have the idea, now that I have like I know what can be done, okay? As long as you have an end goal and you know what can be done, the process, it's a matter of time up until you get to the point you are looking for, right?
Right. Right.
So might take a year for some people, it might take 40 years for some
Mhm.
people, it might take like 10 years, but as long as you get there, don't give up, who
Yep.
cares?
Yep. You'll find your way. Even if it's
Yep.
not the most efficient, you'll get there. If you know
Yep.
what the goal is and you've seen some semblance of how it should go. And if you have the chutzpah to get out there and do it, you'll figure it out.
Yep. You got
Good.
it.
So then you started with fix and flips?
Um, yes. Yes. Actually, my first project was a fix and flip, but I wasn't the flipper. I was the capital partner
Oh.
for the EMD.
Oh.
I was the capital partner for the down payment.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. And I did the loan sponsorship as well.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you
So
brought
that
all the
gave you the
money.
1.0, 3.0, and 4.0. And 4.0 is not even released yet in
Yeah.
now 2025. I did this in 2021. This was my first fix and flip. I partnered up with someone.
Did it work out?
Um, the
Because
flip,
that's a
no.
lot of.
The flip worked out. We sold the flip.
Okay.
But my partner ran out of the money.
Oh, Jesus.
So it didn't work out for me, but I got another great experience. So I didn't give
I'm
up
sorry. I'm
again.
sorry. I'm glad that you look at it that way.
I didn't give up again. I'm like, okay, another lesson, right? Lesson number
Yeah.
one, when I signed up for a $40,000 course. Lesson number two, when I worked with this cop, like he was a police officer,
Oh.
the borrower who ran with the money. Can you believe it?
Oh, one of the good cops.
Yes. And that was my second lesson. Like, hey, I'm not gonna give my money away anymore just on a JV agreement.
Well, I will also say that you were taking quite a few bets, risks by putting them all in one deal. If it were me, I would probably say, oh, I'll do EMD, but I'm going to do the down payment for this other one, and the fixed
Well, the
part
MD
for
was
another one.
$2,000, so
Oh, I see.
you cannot make money just in one deal from $2,000.
Gotcha. Oh, I'm so sorry that happened.
Um,
Now, wait, I want to
I'm
know
happy.
something. I want to know something about your personal life.
Yes.
First off, were you still living in the Northeast at that time?
No, 2020 is when we moved down to Vegas already.
Okay.
It was
And you
about 5 years.
was we your girlfriend from
Yes.
when, and she still stayed with you even though you lost that money?
Oh my God.
Is this
No,
right?
we broke up
Oh, I am so sorry. But I can understand it in some ways
in some ways.
because
Yeah, me too.
you're working so hard. You're working so hard, and then you lose it all. You would be like, it's easy to feel so defeated. And if it's just you and you're looking in, then you can say to yourself, I'm a piece of shit and I should just go kill myself. Or you can say, you
Oh,
know what?
this happened in 2023. Like all this up until 2023 was just nothing. Was like flowers. 2020 losing the money with the course because they went bankrupt. It took me another whole year to recover myself after all the trips, accommodations, investing here, there. And beside, like when you sign up for a course, you're like, hey, you have to get this software, you have to get this software. Then you have to have an LLC, then you have to have an incorporation. So I need business advisors. So for my first year, 2020, like 2019 to 2020, when I signed up for everything, I spent probably $60,000.
Yeah, I believe it.
$42,000 was just the down payment. Okay.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Just the
But the
initial
thing
one.
is that if you're looking inside yourself, you can beat yourself up. Or if you're smart or have a heart, you
You
forgive
beat
yourself.
others.
Well, you're so funny. Well, you forgive yourself. But what happens is if you've got a partner, and whether it's a relationship partner or a business partner, it's probably more realistic or human that you're going to turn, like you said, to that person and beat them up.
Well, she kicked my ass for a long time, okay?
Aw.
2020, when everything shut down with the course, she kicked my ass, but I worked for a whole year. I recovered myself back up on track. And then by 2021, in April, I was already like I was able to save over $100,000 in my savings. So
Wow.
I was ready to rock and roll.
Yep. And you were still together.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Well, we broke up, then we got back together. I'm like, hey, I got my shit together. What about now? I'm back on track. And
Yeah.
we got back together. We got the first house here in Vegas. And I'm like, okay, let's get into these fix and flips. So I got into another mentorship where I met this gentleman who ran with the money.
Oh,
And
you
yes,
saw him? The
I
one?
met him at in the other mentorship. This is how it was started. I joined another mentorship, and then he saw me that I have some capital and my intention of getting into fix and flips. He's like, "Hey, I have a candy for you. Come to Papa. I have a
Yeah.
fix and flip." And I took the bite, and he used me, my ability of unknowing how to properly structure a deal, and I wired over $215,000 into his business checking,
What?
thinking,
Into Wait, did you say into his business checking
yes,
account? Oh my God, my heart breaks for you.
I know, I know. Now I'm laughing, but back then I'm like, well, this is my partner. Like he's not gonna mess up with me, right? Like we can sleep in the same bed. What can
Yeah, and I
happen?
think probably that he was a police officer. It made you want to trust more.
Yes, yes. And we had always like phone calls, video calls, not just phone calls, but video calls. Hey, this is the project. This is like what we are working on right now. This is the new kitchen. This is this. This is that. Like everything was running smooth. But little did I know that he was living on my money.
Yep.
He was traveling across the country watching live football at the stadiums, all the East Coast, and paying accommodation, flying tickets, travel expenses, credit card payments, even his daughter's expenses at school he was covering from my money. And I
Yeah,
have it all on the
that's
bank
a real
statement.
problem. That's a real problem. And you know what? I've learned this lesson myself. That if you're bringing money, in my opinion, if you're bringing money and someone else is bringing the skills, let's say, or the boots or whatever you want to call it,
Mhm.
they can do that without bringing money, but they shouldn't be able to touch any of the money for the company. And no one gets money until that is paid back. So
I
now it's
agree.
paid back. Now you're both kind of even, and the business can go. And any money you make, if you can go ahead and say, I'll take 50 cents, you take 50 cents. But when you've brought all the money and that person is living off it, yeah, it's not helping the business.
Nope. So this was another lesson for me. And obviously, this turned out into a 3-year lawsuit up until I gave up. I gave up because the attorneys cost me like $1,000 a month for 3 years. And I'm like, well, I didn't have any security. I knew about that. We didn't even had like a single hearing, not a single hearing. The attorneys just like been calling
Yep.
me. Like every time you get into a lawsuit, what I learned after 3 years, the only one to make money, the only one to win is the attorney.
Yep. The lawyers. Yeah.
Like no one else, not me, not the other guy will make any money or will win anything. Best case scenario, you will recover your money. Best case scenario.
Yep. Yep.
You cannot make profits out of suing someone.
Yeah.
Attorney
It's
still gonna
very,
make
very
like
hard.
all the
Yep.
money.
Yep. Wow. Another lesson.
Another lesson. Like my first probably 3 years been only lessons.
So once you gave up on that, on the lawsuits of losing more money, where did you turn your attention?
Private money lending.
Okay.
With this gentleman, I'm like, well, now I don't want to be a JV partner anymore. I don't want to take guess on how much you're gonna make or steal. I want profits.
Yeah.
Like I want to set the expectations up front. I know I want percentage, exact percentage up front. So I'm like, let's try it again. So I got into other joint ventures, kinda, or not joint venture, ventures, where I was bringing the capital as a gap lender. and I was setting the expectations like, hey, I want 50% on my money. And it worked well on the first deal. But
Oh, wait. I was going to say, how are you? Oops, hold on one second. I do apologize. I said turn it off and I forgot I had set an alarm. My apologies. Guys, if you're having podcasts, be responsible to your guests because now I have to get in there and turn it off. Otherwise, it's going to go again. All right, we're good. My apologies. So when you started lending, how did you make that kind of a profit? Was it EMD?
no, it was a rehab loan, technically. The fix and flipper was short on his funds and he needed about $20,000 to
Okay.
finish the project.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, well, I'll give it to you, but per my expectations from my previous flip, we were expecting to make X amount of money, and I was supposed to put this amount of money, and this turned out to be like about 40 to 50% cash on cash for my return if everything went smooth.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, hey, this is what I'm expecting from you. I don't want to just JV. I want to make a guaranteed return because I don't know how you're going to manage the funds.
Yep.
I want a guaranteed return at close of escrow. So we ended up drafting some paperwork, promissory note. I ended up buying shares in his LLC just to avoid the usury loss and make sure like he's buying out the shares once he's done with the projects and stuff like that. And we closed the first one successfully. I made like $10,000-$12,000.
Nice.
A couple of months later, I'm like, nice. And he's like, bro, I have one more. Do you want in? I'm like, hell yeah. But he's like, I cannot afford to pay you 50% anymore on this one.
Mm-hmm.
What do you, like, give me a rate. And I thought, I'm like, okay, let's do 30% cash on cash.
Okay.
And he told me it's going to take about 4 months, 4 to 5 to 6 months. I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense.
For how
This
much
was,
money?
it was well up to $30,000.
Okay.
Up to $30,000, all the
Mm-hmm.
projects
Yeah.
back then. I'm like, okay, fine, let's do it. And we've got another one, but it took him about 7 or 8 months. I'm like, dude, you told me it's gonna be 4 to 5 months, maybe 6. Now it's been 7. So my return actually annualized is slimmer than expected. So
Had you built
I
in?
added extra expectations on my lending
Okay.
structure. I'm
So
like,
hang on a second. I apologize about interrupting you, but I'm interested in knowing. Did you write in late fees and what would happen?
nope. So this what came up next. I'm like, hey, now that I got another lesson, I wasn't part of Gator community. It was not even Gator community when I
Yeah, it
was doing
wasn't
this.
really there.
And I
Yeah.
didn't even know who pays Morby is back then, 2021, 2022.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, how about we do 30% for 6 months? If you go above 6 months, I'm going to have a 5% penalty because I want to make a 5% guaranteed every single month.
Yeah.
And we signed, like on the next deals, we did it this way.
So did you work with the same person again?
Same person.
Okay.
And later on, I ended up getting like a mix of flippers
Okay.
from the same group I was part of from the fix and flip
Okay.
course.
Yep.
There were other fix and flippers coming to me, hey, like we are doing one at a time and we want to scale up and
Mm-hmm.
we want to leverage,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were looking for OPM. So I'm like, okay, here we are. I still have some money left. And this is
Did you
when I
do it in
started
the
raising.
same way where you ended up in their LLC to protect your interest, or how did you do that?
Later on, I ended up doing promissory notes with deed of trust.
Good.
No more LLC
Yeah.
equity or something like that. It was just deed of trust. And the JV agreement on top for the profit split.
Okay. Nice. So now you were finally kind of moving along in a positive way.
Yeah.
And how did you go from that to transactional funding? And for those who are unfamiliar, could you explain what transactional funding is? Because that's when I first met you, and it's also what I am doing. But on what the FE, sometimes they're not even sure why they're watching.
Yes. So
So I want to
we can
educate
we
people.
can cut like from here and move like now it's where it gets like all the nuggets. Now we're gonna spill all the nuggets, guys. Like
Well,
everything.
frankly, everything that you have done, other people are currently making those same mistakes right now.
Oh my God, yes,
I'm
I'm
sure
all
there's going to be
sharing
at
what
least,
I have been through because people have to be aware of.
yeah, you can bet there's at least one person who's watching and going, what do you mean I shouldn't be sending the money to his business account? Where else do I
Well, to
send
him.
it? You send
The
it only.
EMD, I didn't even wire to title company. Hear me out. The EMD with the cup, I sell it to his Wells Fargo account, right?
Guys, only wire money to a title company and
Yes,
make sure that you have liens and that you have actionable paper that you
we
can,
have paperwork. You make sure you
yeah,
want to protect
yeah,
yourself.
that you can
So
take steps against the
this was
person.
the reason actually I ended up switching to transactional funding. Last year in March 2024 is when I was approached to transactional funding to double close for the first time. I have done my first deal as an EMD, right? But it wasn't quite transactional funding because it was all a
No,
mess.
it takes 30 days at least,
Yeah, it was all a mess. But now, last year in March, I was approached to a double close.
Okay.
And I know the concept of a double close. A double close is technically when a wholesaler locks up a property of the seller at a discount rate, and then he identifies a fix and flipper or an end buyer. It might be like a buy and hold buyer, and he not assigns, but he resells the property to him. So for the wholesaler, in order for him to resell the property, he must own it. And now in a couple of states, especially in the East Coast, you cannot even assign a property anymore. You must own it before you resell it. So this is what happened over here. It was a piece of land in North Carolina, and the connector reached out to me and he's like, hey, how much would you charge for a transaction like this? It was a small transaction, $40,000. I'm like,
And
well,
let's make sure that the audience understands that when that wholesaler asked you that, what he was really saying is, I don't have two pennies to rub together. I'm so poor. I can't buy this piece of property that I only need 40,000 to buy it. So how about you bring the money and let me buy it, and then I will pay you an interest, and then at the same time, same day, as soon as I own it, I'm going to sell it and you're going to get your money back from that purchase.
exactly.
So it
Exactly.
doesn't leave escrow.
No, that's why I ended up switching to transactional funding. I ended up funding over like $2 million in private money loans since 2021 up until 2024. $2 million.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't $2 million at once, obviously. It was
No,
like
no, of course not.
flipping papers. So, right, my mindset ended up switching from flipping properties into flipping papers. I better like to sit here in my office in front of the camera, tell to people, dressed well, not sweating outside in 108-degree, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of flipping properties. And now you do like business to business instead of like dealing with consumer or dealing with contractors that are messing between each other and bursting your pipes, cutting your wires if the general contractor is not paying a subcontractor. This is what happened to me on the flip. Like I
Yes,
had at
yes, yes.
night, one of the plumbers went into the house and cut all the pipes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, no more fix and flips. I'll do paper flips.
Okay. And the time.
And the time as well, yes. Well, with fix and flips as a gap lender or first position lender, I was still in the same time frame as a fix and flip will take, right? I was still A to Z, like doing the loan. But with transactional funding, this is what changed everything. Like my money stays safe in escrow. I'm the last one to wire the money and the first one to get the money.
Right. And
So
it's
I'm
usually
like,
within
well,
24 hours.
if I'm the last puzzle in the picture and everybody else have to do the hard work, why I'm still struggling with PML in first position, second position, and take all this risk?
Yep.
Why?
Yep. And you don't do a double close. It's not a double close if the end buyer isn't already there,
Yes,
ready
exactly.
to
That's
buy
why
it
I say like
from you.
they do the hard work.
Yep. Yep. So it is, it's interesting, isn't it, Gabriel, how we come to this point? Because I had done EMDs, I had done PMLs, PMPs, a bunch of different things. And this concept of transactional funding, which involves double closes and seller carrybacks, which we can talk about in a second,
Oh, that's another
almost seems
rabbit
too,
hole.
yeah, well, it almost seems too easy. It almost seems like, really? Wait, what? Now you have to have the money, because that wholesaler didn't have the money of $40,000. And very often they're much larger transactions than
Oh,
that.
yes.
So you have to have the money yourself or access to that money, and you got to do it fast. But how sweet, like you say, let them do the work. You're the last person in line and the first person to get repaid.
Yes, because now what happens, we're going to have two HUDs, right? So the wholesaler who reaches out to us, right? Like very often it's going to be a wholesaler that's going to need our services.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to do quite some homework. They have to pull lists. So they have to pay for softwares to pull lists.
Yep.
They have to hire VAs to cold call. They must have closers in the team who's going to lock up the properties.
Mm-hmm.
And once they lock up the property after like couple of months of work, because it requires quite a follow-up with every single seller, once they lock it up, they're like, oh crap, now what do? Now we need to get EMD in place, right? Now we need to find an end buyer in place. So like it's a lot of work to do between locking the property and assigning the property. It's a lot of work,
Yep.
a lot of phone calls.
Yep.
And then they only reach out to us like very often last minute. Hey, can you fund this double close by Friday?
Mm-hmm.
Can you get it done? I'm like, all day long. I only need your PSA, purchase and sale agreement for A to B, purchase and sale agreement for B to C. The end buyer already must get their hard money lender, private money, do again the hard work themselves.
Right.
And they have to get the money in escrow before I even
you put
wire the
yours in.
money.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I'm wiring the last one to escrow to cover the A to B portion of the double close.
Mm-hmm.
And me being the lender now on this property, I'm being paid first in line on the B2C transaction.
Exactly.
It's so crazy.
Yep. But it does also take skills that not everybody has.
Oh yes, you can
So,
lose money in transactional funding easy,
oh, sure,
easily.
sure. So it is not for everyone. So if you're listening to this, guys, especially if you're just getting started in real estate, please don't think, oh, gee, thanks, guys. I now know what to do. I'm going to jump in there. Transactional funding it's tricky, especially seller carrybacks. But like Gabriel said, you can lose money. And if you have a couple of million to lose, well, then you don't have it anymore.
Wire it to me.
Yeah,
If
right.
you have a couple
Exactly.
million dollars.
I'll sell you a mentorship.
Yes.
And I'll sell you a bridge with some swampland to go with it. So, bottom line is that this isn't a beginning strategy. Otherwise, we would have both seen it when we first got in. It's something that takes time and you really do have to be careful. So I want to definitely state that disclosure because there are also legalities that you have to know about.
Yes, it might look
So,
easy once you master it.
mhm,
Like everything you do, you might be
exactly.
doing PML, you might be
Hmm.
doing hard money, you might be doing transactional funding, fix and flips, wholesaling. As long as you become like a master in your niche, you're gonna be fine. But it takes
Yep.
time and it requires a lot of skills to be
Yep.
developed. The
Exactly.
biggest skill in transactional funding is to become a capital riser. One of the biggest one, because if you don't have money, well, how do you call yourself as a transactional lender?
Yep.
So you either
Yep.
have to partner up via a white label again,
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
you must raise your own capital, your own fund technically. And then this is not where it ends. Having the money actually is the least problem. Having the knowledge on how to vet and underwrite a transaction, this is the biggest problem.
Right.
Because you might know the borrower, you might know him, it might be your best friend, but if you somehow run into a fake title company,
Oh, yes.
this is where it gets ugly,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Because the title company is the only one we have to vet, in fact.
Right.
They're the only one to receive the money. We don't have promissory notes and deed of trust involved in transactional funding. We're
Right.
not issuing loans
Right.
anymore. We
And
have
those
escrow
are,
agreements.
and that's not an unusual scam. I
Yes.
remember when Abraham Gray was telling us about a title company that looked really, really close, that it was legit until you went deep. And when you went deep, then you saw the little dots,
The red
the
flags.
little dots and everything, that was like one dot, and the eye can skip right over that. So, yeah, you have to be very, very super careful. And, once it's gone, if it's a fake title company, it's gone, forget it. Forget it.
Yes, and even
Yep.
if it's a real one, you still have to
Make
follow your
sure.
lending bugs and make sure, because I just recently funded a transaction where the closing attorney failed to wire the money back to me, and it took me 10 days to get my money back. 10 days.
What the hell?
What the hell? I know they can be clowns in the industry. Okay.
What
Even if
was he
he was
thinking?
licensed with the bar and everything, and he's been around for quite a long time, he kept my money in escrow for 10 days. I
How
had
did
to
he
get the
justify
police
that?
department involved to stop at his house.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yes. And
After the
everything was
podcast,
by the book
after
on
the
my end.
podcast, I want you to tell me who it was.
I will. I will. And
And
everything
I
was
will
by the
tell
book
you
on my
all.
end. I had everything by the book on my end. Everything was like check mark, check mark, check mark. But he was a clown, and he decided on his own, in his own intention, for his own purpose, to keep the money in escrow, because the borrower, who is a good friend of him, didn't perform on the transaction, and he decided to keep my money in escrow.
Sorry to hear it. But yes, you guys, you got to be very, 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 very careful, and things will still happen for sure. Can you move us forward to the other part of transactional funding? So the three parts are the EMD, which I don't do. Do you do EMD?
I only do EMD if I'm funding both ends, right? EMD is the
Okay.
front end,
Mhm.
and then I want to fund the back end, which is the double close or the Morby method.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you only need me for EMDs,
No.
pass.
Okay.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not interested.
I've
It's a
done
waste
enough
of time.
EMDs. They're not worth it to me.
I funded over $200,000 worth of EMDs this
Hmm.
year alone in the last 6 months.
Hmm.
Zero closed successfully so far. I just canceled another EMD, and I'm waiting on the title company to wire $20,000 back because the buyer didn't perform. And all I'm making in 2 months is $1,000.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
non-refundable deposit.
Yeah. Yeah. I
It's not
agree.
worth. It's
I
not
know.
worth it.
No.
And I was supposed to fund the Morby method as well, aka the stack method. That's why I agreed on the front end,
I
but we
see.
couldn't secure financing. And I'm like, okay, well, your due diligence is hitting like a roadblock at the end. So I'm not going to let you play with my money. That's it.
Right. Exactly. Let them do that part and come in when it is the double close. So you got your EMD, you got a double close, and you've got the third one. People are having issues what to call it. Okay, so sometimes they call it the stack method, other times they call it a seller carryback, and other times they call it the Morby method. All three of those are the same. Would you kindly outline how that works?
So I still see a difference in between, honestly. They sublime the
Hmm.
same acquisition strategy. This is an acquisition strategy, guys, okay? It allows a buyer to get into a property with little to no money down. And in fact, I have seen people getting paid, buyers at
Right,
closing getting paid. So it's
at
a
the table.
quite good strategy if you don't have liquidity and you have the capacity and the knowledge and the skills to structure such a transaction. The Morby method, the original Morby method that I have learned from Pace Morby,
Hmm.
requires the seller to be listed on the buyer's LLC, being like as a silent shareholder. So there's no
Okay,
second liens, okay? There's only first lien, DSCR, or hard money, right? Morby method can be done both for turnkey properties and for fix and flips. I find it both ways.
okay, that's interesting. And I didn't realize that they put the seller in as a silent partner on the
This is the
LLC.
original Morby method. This is the
Okay.
right Morby method structure, okay?
Okay.
Where the seller has the right to take over ownership if the buyer defaults without foreclosing.
Yep.
And what later on was developed, like it was a hybrid Morby method, which is seller carry, aka stock method, where the seller is getting secured by a second position lien.
Got it. So in the Morby method, the seller is part of the LLC, and you as the lender can take it over if they don't perform under any circumstance, versus the seller carryback and the stack where they are not in the LLC. Instead, they have a second lien position.
Yes, this is how
Okay.
I say it.
Okay. All right. And talk to us about timing and where do we send the money to the seller's checking account, or what do
Okay,
we do?
with the Morby method or aka stock method or seller carry, for us transactional lenders, it's always the same structure pretty much, always the same. But we can do it multiple ways in terms of providing the liquidity for this buyer. So when buyers are reaching out to me, I prefer to set expectations up front, right? So I'm always walking them through the process and I'm making sure they understand my position in this transaction. Very often, they will need to go to the institutional lender, aka DSCR or hard money,
Yep.
bridge lender, if you wish, and they'll be, hey, I want to buy this property on 123 Main Street, and the lender will always require some sort of liquidity or proof of funds that they can perform and close on the property, because when they go to the institutional lender, they will not disclose anything about the seller carry, right? So it's going to look as a traditional investment property with 20, 25, 30% down payment. But on the back end, this 30% or 35% is being financed by the seller. But this only happens on the back end, behind the scene. So in front of the stage where the whole magic happens, they need to bring liquidity. So they will
Yep.
reach out to us as transactional lenders for help. Hey, can you bring 100 Gs to the table on my behalf? Can you bring 200 Gs on the table? And you'll get paid right back from the seller distribution from behind the stage. So we can structure it multiple ways. One would be to do a JV agreement. Hey, I'll become your JV partner. I'll bring $100,000 just to satisfy your DSR lender, and I will get paid after the close of escrow of the first transaction. We call it like first leg and second leg.
Right.
Other way around might be to have my lending LLC, my transactional funding LLC, as a small shareholder listed on the operating agreement for the buyer, allowing the buyer to leverage my credibility and my liquidity at the same time.
That's more
It's
like
going to be okay.
sponsoring.
Well, XYZ LLC has $1 million in the bank. All we need is $100,000. As long as you guys have some sort of paperwork allowing the buyer to use this $100,000 and perform on the transaction, we will accept your bank statements. So this is what we do. Another route is what I don't like much. It can create delays. Is to fund it through buyer's LLC. Okay, so every buyer probably gonna have an LLC.
I should hope
If you're
so.
yes, I hope so, and I will not fund any transactions without
Yeah.
an LLC in the middle. If you're an educated investor, you want to have limited liability protection, obviously, and they'll have a new LLC very often in the state they are looking to buy this property. Here in Vegas, I'm using like about 4 to 5 properties per entity. I don't want to have more than $2
Yeah.
million worth of real estate in one LLC.
Right.
Same I suggest to my buyers. Hey, don't use your holding company to buy real estate. Use a local LLC in the state you're looking to buy that's going to be owned by your holding company
Of
at the end of the
course.
day. So very, very often they open new LLCs for this specific reason. And then they need a bank account. So I always suggest them, hey, how about we open a Relay account or any of the investor-friendly banks, and you'll give me full access. I'll give you limited access. I will wire the amount needed for your down payment to provide proof of liquidity. We'll get a bank statement. We'll show it to your lender. Your lender will have a check mark and as soon as we are ready to close, like clear to close, I will be still the one to wire the money into the title company, into escrow,
Hmm.
right? People would often confuse title and escrow. Those are actually two different um, companies very often,
Yep, they
or
can.
not companies necessarily, but two different jobs, two different positions, two different skills. Like the title company will make sure that you own the property and
Yeah,
they'll pull a title report and they'll check all the liens. And then the escrow company is the one to collect the money and distribute all the funds. That's all
right.
the escrow does. So I'll be the one to wire the money still into escrow. And I will invoice that escrow or the second escrow. Very often we have two escrows, right?
Hmm.
As I
Yep.
say, like we
Yeah,
have
because you've got the two
the
legs.
front stage where we get the DSCR plus the down payment,
Yep,
and then we have the back stage where the seller carry happens.
exactly.
So I will invoice the second escrow to send the wire back to me plus my profits.
Right,
And this is where I'm getting out the transaction. Like
right.
I can get on someone's operating agreement as long as my money is needed. The minute you pay me off, I'm
Then
out
you're
from your
off.
LLC
Exactly.
and you are on your own.
How long would you say the typical Morby method or seller carryback or stack takes?
From locking up the property under contract and closing?
Yes, the
Well, the
two
quickest I
legs.
have done probably was 2 months. The
Did you
quickest
say
I
the
have done.
quickest you have done is 2 months?
Yes.
Oh, from locking up the company, the
From A to Z.
deal. Yeah. Actually, I'm thinking about your money. You're taking your
Oh,
money and you're putting it into escrow so that they can purchase and getting set up
the
under the
quickest then,
company.
yes, as a transactional lender, from my standpoint, for my money for being frozen in escrow,
Right.
technically,
Hmm.
the quickest probably was like 2 to 3 hours.
Hmm.
That was the quickest. And the longest I had was 8 days.
8 days. Okay.
8 days. The
Yeah.
reason being is even though we had these intentions of having my LLC on the operating agreement on the buyer side,
Hmm.
the lender was still expecting the wire to come from the buyer's LLC.
Oh, I see.
And it was a large transaction. It was about $300,000 or $400,000 down payment. So what happened is I was the one to submit the wire, $400,000, whatever it was last year. And escrow, when they received the money, they always have a receipt.
Hmm.
And this receipt, they're forwarding it to the DSCR lender, to the institutional lender.
Right. And
And
he
the
wouldn't
institutional
accept
lender
it.
was, hey, what the hell? Like, who is XYZ LLC?
Yep.
Which
I
is my
understand.
LLC. Like, I don't have a XYZ LLC, but obviously I'm not going to share my names anywhere publicly.
Yes, he does. He's got XYZ. Yes, he does.
Yep, yep.
So then, did they reject it and it came back to
So
you?
they did not reject it, but they were like, hey, who the hell is like XYZ LLC and why the wire came in from that account? And I'm like, hey, it's me. Remember, I provided the bank statements. I am on the operating agreement. Like, what are you talking about? This was supposed to be, like, we set the expectations from the beginning. This is how it was supposed to be from the beginning.
Yep.
And they're like, well, can you send us proof that you send the wire? Like, when you go in branch, they give you like a wire
Hmm.
paper,
Hmm.
wire proof of transaction. I'm like, okay, well, back then I still used to go in branch. Now I do everything online. I'm working directly with my private banker, and I can do like 7-figure wires from home finally.
Nice.
But back then I still used to go in branch, and luckily I had this paper, so I took a picture, I sent it over. We wired the money on Friday. They said nope, not gonna accept it. We need the paper. I sent them the paper over the weekend, and on Monday they like, hey, we understand this, but now we need a screenshot from your bank account. We want to match the account numbers. I'm like, okay, fine. You have a receipt from the escrow showing my account number. You have the picture that I sent to you showing my account number. Now the third proof was a screenshot from my bank. 3 proofs. It took them a whole week up until next Thursday to submit like a clear to close again, and they funded it on Friday.
Do you want
So
to
it
hear
was
something
Friday to Friday.
crazy? I had to go through almost the exact same process in order to rent a house.
What?
I was gone from the States for 13 years. And I
Okay.
went to Canada to be, and was in Canada. And then when I came back, I didn't realize that because I had my credit cards open, but I wasn't using them a lot. And my credit went way down to like whatever the beginning is, like a 16-year-old. And as a result, they're like, oh, no, no, you don't have a job and your credit sucks. Nobody would rent to me. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? I've got enough money to buy the freaking house, but I don't want to buy the house. I want to rent until I could see what was going on. And the same thing. They were like, well, how do we know you have the money? And I was like, okay, fine, proof of funds. They're like, wait, where did this money come from? I'm like, yeah, I'm a drug dealer. I'm a drug dealer and I take it all cash and I wash it. And they're like, don't be
So
funny.
you put like all your cash on a printer and you scan it and you provide proof of funds?
Almost. I told them, I said, this is an estate settlement. I got it from the estate that I helped my mother build. And they're like, how do we know? Back to the province of British Columbia, the court system to give the ruling. And then they're like, well, how do we know that that was actually money that you got in your own account? Because now I had to give them the Canadian account. I could not believe it. And they still took $13,000 cash for a deposit.
Oh my God.
So because I
Did
had to
you
go
rent
through,
out a mansion or what? Like $13,000 is a
no,
deposit?
no, no. But it was that hard because when you go and you're filling out all these forms, the forms aren't made for I don't work and I have money. It's not made for that. So, reject, 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 reject. And finally, we got somebody who would be willing to listen, but they put up me through hell. So, frankly, I understand that part because we're talking major money and we're talking about different parties. When
Yeah.
you're talking about one person, you could look at me and you go, yeah, she's definitely a drug dealer. She looks like it. But, when you're dealing with one person, you can kind of base it on them. But when you're dealing with multiple parties, I get
Do
it.
you still have your laboratory in the basement? I
Actually,
see like you have
it's
this
on the
white,
first floor. It's on the first floor.
you have your white
Lab coat. Yeah.
lab coat on you, like you just came from the laboratory, just made some money. Close some deals?
Oh, that's so funny. But it is kind of interesting to see, just exactly how picky they can be. And
Yeah.
rightfully so, because that DSCR lender is lending the bulk of the money. And if they say we want you to bring in 20% or 30%, whatever it is, they really aren't happy that who are you? Yeah, you're not on our
Yeah.
application, so I get that part. I really get it. So it
Yeah.
is
So
interesting.
beside that, probably this one was the longest. On average, my transactions at 24 to 48 hours still for the Morby method. The double closing, unless we have two separate escrows, unless it's two separate escrows, everything happens in one day. I can
Yep.
wire the money, let's say 9, 10, 11 a.m. in the morning. As soon as I get the clear to close and I verify everything and I provide my invoice, I can get the money back before dinner.
Yep. Yep. Otherwise, it's going to take an additional day, maybe.
Yes, and I have additional fees.
Yep. Of
So
course.
I'm always
Of course.
disclosing them, hey, please make sure you have your shit together, okay? And you have the money ready in B2C escrow. So when I wire the A to B, everybody's like at Formula One, let's sign here, sign here, file it, notary, done. Here's your money, sir. Appreciate your business. That's what I'm
Exactly.
expecting.
Yep. All right. Well, before we wrap up, I would like to ask, what do you think is the most common misconception that people have about transactional funding? Because you've been doing it for a while, and in complete honest disclosure, um, guys, that's my company, Sunrise Capital Partners.
Sunrise Capital Partners,
Sunrise
Effie and
Capital
Raz.
Partners.
Let's
But
go.
we have our first transaction kind of in the middle. Hasn't happened yet. So we're just starting. And this man has been doing it for a couple of years now. Well, you've been doing it
Transactional
since,
funding for over a year now, and PML overall for over 3 years, 4 years now.
yeah, PML and all. I could, my reputation could fight you with that, but not for, not for transactional funding. So I would like to know, although maybe in the future I will, but I would like to know, what do you think is the most common misconception that people have that don't know much about it or that are looking in?
The misconception that I'm dealing with, it's about double closings, and they call it delay double close. Like, hey, can you fund this double close for me? I'm like, yeah, send me A to B, B2C contracts, and please make sure like the close of escrow is happening the same day because B2C funds must be in escrow prior me funding the deal. They're like, no, like I have a delay double closing. Like it might be a month. I don't have an end buyer yet. I just need to close first, and then if it works out properly, like we will sell it maybe in a month, or maybe in a week, or maybe in 2 weeks. I'm like, oh, well, you're looking for a loan, my friend. This is not nearly a double close. This is a bridge loan. Okay, the double close requires B2C funds be in escrow prior A to B to fund the deal.
Yeah.
And if you don't have B2C party signed up, like it doesn't exist in the nature for you yet, and the funds are not even in escrow, then you're looking for a bridge loan, my friend.
Yeah.
This is bridge. It's hard money. It requires to have a promissory note, a deed of trust, and
Yeah,
a
it's not what
lot of trust in
it's
you.
not what you want to do. It's not what I want to do.
No,
Yeah.
obviously not. So I don't do those.
Interesting. That is interesting. Okay. I'd like for you to tell us, where can people reach out to you? Because I'm telling everybody, okay, we're launching, we've launched, guys, transactional funding. And I'm going to be inviting other transactional funders on What the Effie, because I feel that it's not a competition per se. There are going to be things you can do that I won't want to do, or that I can do that you're like,
Honestly,
whatever.
there's always going to be something where we can partner up. I just sent to Raz 3 EMD requests the other week. Like,
Don't
sorry,
send them
man, like
EMD requests. I'm
we
not,
don't do EMDs.
no
So
EMD.
there's going to be someone who's going to jump on it.
Yes, let
I
them.
bet if I go to our common group, the Green
Yep.
Gator, if I make the post, hey, who wants to fund it? They will jump on it. They'll be, hey, send me your wire instructions right now. I will send the wire. They don't even question
Yep.
about experience, HUDs,
Yep.
due diligence
Yep.
period. Like there's a
Yep.
lot of knuckleheads who don't follow a process. The reason being I'm not funding someone's CMD is because I have experience and I know what to expect from this deal.
Yep. Yep. And like you said, the more you can focus and go deep, and people can know that that's what you do, that's what you do.
Yes.
So I would like for people to know how they can reach out to you. Should they either want to place their money to be used in a double close or a Morby method, or if they need a transactional funder.
Yes, the
How
best
can
way
they
to reach
reach you?
out to me is gonna be social media. I don't quite share my cell phone, honestly.
That's good.
Um,
So
Gabriel
what
Harris, Gabriel Harris on Facebook and Instagram. It's literally the name you see on the screen, the
do
same
you
name.
put an underscore between it, or is it one word, or is there a dot?
If you are talking about the tag itself, the tag is the Lord Gabriel, the dot Lord dot Gabriel.
Okay.
So again, this comes back from 2015 when I moved to US. I was following a guy from UK who was a lord, and or he was claiming to be a lord, and he was into real estate as well. He was lord somehow. I don't remember him anymore. But I'm like, interesting. I also want to be a lord. I want to be a landlord. So
That's
here's the
good.
dream came true. So now I'm Lord Gabriel.
I love it, because I was thinking to myself, why would you want to be a lord? A lord is only a hierarchy in the English, I think German, and certain, bloodlines. But when you
Hmm.
said landlord, I got it.
Yes, like I want to be a landlord of real estate. So
Very
I
nice.
kept my tag it's both on Instagram, both social media like Instagram and Facebook, the Lord Gabriel. So it's the.lord.gabriel.
Very nice. So the
And the
Lord
website,
together, then a dot, and then Gabriel.
no, it's a dot in between all the words.
Oh, the dot, Lord dot, Gabriel dot.
Yes, yes.
I love it. I love it. Okay, guys, you know how to reach out to him. And I'd like to say thank you very, very much, Gabriel. And I don't do this all that often, but I would like to ask if you'd come back for a second recording, maybe in another half year or a year, because when Raz found out that I was interviewing you, he's like, I want to be there. I'm like, okay. And then, but today turned out to be a day that he couldn't leave what he's doing,
Uh,
so if you'll
we
come
can do
back.
it again. Let's close a transaction together
Oh, it's
and
a
we will
deal.
jump all three.
It's a deal. It's a deal. That's a very nice
Yeah.
idea. Thank you.
Let's
Thank
close
you.
the transaction together
Yep.
and let's get it done. And we will talk on how we generated the lead, how we drafted the JV agreement paperwork wise, like what we ended up
The
doing.
whole story.
Full story, yes.
I love it.
Because
Okay, guys.
it's interesting to listen about someone's experience, but it's
Oh,
different when you have a breakdown on a deal. So let's bring it
yes, yes, for
back.
sure. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. We shall see you next time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it very, very much. And you know
Appreciate
how
you.
to
Yeah.
reach them.